quite a few new affordable hot hatchbacks in 2018. An extended bumper crop, if you like. No, all right. And Volkswagen is looking to beat all of them to market with this, the most powerful Polo GTI it's ever made. And we've come to a rather slippery circuit near the airport in Mallorca to see what it's all about. This car plays a more important role strategically for Volkswagen as well than ever a Polo GTI did before. It's kind of more important for building the Polo brand than it ever used to be. And you can tell that when you're getting familiar with it. I mean, not only is there that 197 horsepower engine, which frankly is no less power than the car really needs to be taken seriously, but there's a choice of manual or 6-speed DSG gearboxes. You get the latest active info display instruments here, which apparently are better than the ones you get on a Passat. You get a big touchscreen infotainment system. It's basically lots of sort of upmarket, ritzy, technical material features in this car that you don't normally see on sort of pocket rocket fast super minis. And that's because Volkswagen wants you to think of it as a proper GTI. It's desirable, it's classy, as well as being fun to drive. And by bringing it in now, right at the start of the regular Polo's life cycle, I guess the whole Polo range benefits from that bit of reflected glory. So, what's it like? Well, it's a Polo, for one, so it's a big super mini, but it's also a very practical, classy one. This car is now bigger, I think, in all respects other than overall length, than a Mark IV Golf. So yeah, it's a pretty big hatchback. And you might think, well, maybe that means it won't have the sort of nimbleness, the stradability that great little hot hatchbacks have had over the years, but bear in mind that the growth spurt this car has had has actually added more proportionally to the front track width than it has to the wheelbase. So maybe all is not lost. Yeah, this feels like a proper GTI from the inside now. It's roomy, it's really desirable, nicely built, driving position's great, and there's the obligatory tartan check seats as well. I mean, there's plenty of colour and life, sense of occasion to this car, which is what a GTI really needs. If we're honest, the engine in this car could be a little bit more exciting, a bit more dramatic, but it's got plenty of torque, it responds really nicely, and it makes for plenty of pace. It's very much the GTI philosophy to give you that linear, manageable sort of feel to the powertrain, not to trade that for a sort of a histrionic, more dramatic sort of character that's actually harder to use. And on a greasy surface like this, manageability, drivability, those are the things you need. The car's handling is very GTI too. Precise, proportional, by and large, sort of sure-footed, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. What they've done with that new front suspension knuckle is kept the front roll centre higher than it might be otherwise, and that's made for a really crisp turn-in, but also decent mid-corner balance and a bit less focus on managing the front axle than you get in some of these front-wheel drive performance machines. So the net result is that this car is actually more playful than you might expect a GTI to be. It's true, some hot hatchbacks are a little bit livelier, perhaps a bit more fun at low speeds, but this isn't completely straight-laced. I mean, through faster corners, you can move the rear end around pretty much as you want. Like that. The ESP isn't completely switchable, but it's got the sport mode that we're in, and that gives you a bit of freedom, and the front end feels nicely adhesive. There's lots of steering feel through the wheel, you get lots of confidence from it. The grip level's pretty well balanced, and you can have fun. I mean, what more do you want? So this is progress, you know. This car does what a GTI does. It's pragmatic, it's easy to drive, it looks after you a bit, but it can be fun as well. And listen, if you want something more dialed up and more lively, you can have it. I mean, think Mini Cooper S Works, think Fiesta ST. This is the sort of performance car that you don't have to compromise or apologise for. It can be comfy, grown up, you can use it every day, and you can have fun with it. And if that makes it the performance car that suits you and your life and your budget, well, it's the best performance car in the world, isn't it?